Good evening and welcome into the Appalachian Wireless Sports Overtime Saturday night. Jamie is off. Lauren was in Lexington covering the Wildcats and the Cardinals. We will, of course, have that game for you coming up shortly. Also on the show, college football bowl highlights. We check in with UVA wise forward and former Buckhorn Wildcat Matt Day as he begins to wind down his career as a Cavalier. But we start at Rupp Arena with a pretty big basketball game. Head coach John Calipari of Kentucky trying to join the 200-win club at UK and join Rick Pitino, the Louisville head coach, one of 4 coaches to do it in UK history before today. Cats jump out to the quick 9-3 lead after the first TV timeout thanks to Tyler Ulis. He had a big game versus the Cardinals last year, another one today. Back though comes Louisville. Trey Lewis, the transfer from Cleveland State, lethal behind the arc, 3 of his 15 points, Cardinals within 5. This was a game for the UK veterans to shine, and did they ever. Dominique Hawkins, the Kentucky native, trims the Louisville lead to 2. He finished with 13 off the bench. You knew it was coming. The block that shook Rupp Arena. Mats Stockman meet Alex Poitras. Not in my home arena. Cats up 14 in the second half. The Ulis to Poitras connection was alive and well, and it was effective. Poitras, the two-handed dunk. He finished with 14 points, 6 rebounds. A huge reason Louisville was in the game today was this guy, the Drexel transfer. Damian Lee can pull up and shoot from anywhere, and that's what he did. A game-high 27. The Cats, though, too much down the stretch. They hold off number 16 Louisville as we go to the Highlands Black and Blue Clinic scoreboard. 75-73 the final. Kentucky now 34-15 all-time versus the Cardinals. Calipari 8-1 versus Louisville as head coach of Kentucky, and he joins the 200-win club at UK. Our own Lauren Cash has more on the Cats and Cards from Rupp Arena.
On a Kentucky team that features a lot of new faces, it was the veterans that shined on Saturday. Alex Poitras, Tyler Ulis, and Kentucky's own Dominique Hawkins helped pull the Kentucky Wildcats to the 75-73 win over the Louisville Cardinals.
A good warm-up, and plus it's a big game. I feel like I played better on bigger stages as well. And I was confident, and every shot I threw up, I feel like it was going to go in.
We needed to step up in this rivalry game because these guys haven't been in this situation. So Alex did a great job of stepping up. Dom playing more minutes than he usually does because Zay's out. He hit some big shots for us, hit 2 big free throws in the end, and we came out and did what we had to do.
I thought Tyler and Alex were ridiculous. I thought Marcus gave us some good minutes. And then the biggest thing is Dom Hawkins goes in, Dominic goes in. And, yeah, we put Alex in the middle and just told him to attack, and that's what he did. And then I love the fact that Tyler just threw him the ball down low, and, he posted, and Alex is an elite athlete. Be that guy. Just play. Be that guy. Did you see the block he had coming down in front of our bench? It was ridiculous. Only a Superman can make that play, and he made it.
Also on Saturday, John Calipari notched his 200th win as the Kentucky Wildcats head coach, making him only the 5th head coach in Kentucky basketball history to do so. Reporting inside Rupp Arena, Lauren Cash for Sports Overtime Saturday night.
Thank you very much, Lauren. The Wildcats will once again have a full week to recover before they take the court. But when they do resume action, it will be Southeastern Conference play next Saturday, January 2nd. At home versus the Ole Miss Rebels. 7 o'clock tip-off on the SEC Network. Both teams are 10-2 on the year, with the Rebels sporting a 7-game winning streak heading into the game. Kentucky, though, has owned the all-time series with Ole Miss. Get this, winning 103 of the 116 all-time meetings, last losing to Ole Miss in 2011. Well, coming up, we turn our attention to the college football bowl season. 6 games on the schedule for today, including Marshall versus UConn in the St. Petersburg Bowl in Florida. The college football bowl season continuing today after taking a break for Christmas yesterday. First up, the Marshall Thundering Herd and the UConn Huskies. Doc Holliday and Marshall in Florida for the St. Petersburg Bowl versus Connecticut. This game was low scoring, but here are some points from the green. Chase Litton over the middle to Ryan Juracek, 16 yards, 7-0 Herd. Later in the first, UConn gives it to Ron Johnson. His only carry of the day gets it just inside the pylon for the score, 8 yards. Huskies tied up at 7. Now 13-10 Marshall with 1:50 to play in the game. Nick Smith converts the 32-yard field goal It's a 6-point lead for the Green. Final chance for UConn. 4th and 9, 28 seconds left. Bryant Sheriff buys some time, throws downfield, pass incomplete, intended for Hergy Mayala. And Marshall improves to 10-3 all-time in bowl games, have now won 5 straight postseason games. 16-10 the final over UConn.
I knew it was going to come down there. Connecticut has an excellent defensive football team, and so do we. They take pride in being physical, and so do we, and that's what kind of game it was. And it came down to 1 or 2 plays, which most of them do. And how about our kicker went in there, and he made 3 of the 4. I'm proud of him. He's had a little bit of an up and down year, but he stepped up today and got it done.
I already knew coming in this game it was going to be a defensive game. We played to our best ability. We made a few mistakes, but we limited it. And, we know it was a team that tried to control the ball. We handled that perfectly.
Head coach David Cutcliffe and Duke meeting up with Indiana in the Pinstripe Bowl at Yankee Stadium. Blue Devils leading 3-0 in the first, but Sean Wilson wants more points. The first play of the drive, he busts it right up the gut. He's gone. 85 yards to the house. Duke jumps out to a 10-0 lead. In the second quarter, the Hoosiers going to the air. Nate Sudfield throwing deep, connects with Luke Timian on the corner route. 17-yard touchdown, Indiana down 3. Later in the second, same score. That is until Divine Redding runs it in from 17 yards out, giving the Hoosiers a 14-10 lead over the Blue Devils. A mere 12 seconds later, still in the second, Duke quarterback Thomas Sirk on the design QB draw, and he finds some running room and he will not be caught. 73 yards for Sirk on the run, and the Blue Devils win the Pinstripe Bowl in overtime, 44-41. over the Indiana Hoosiers at Yankee Stadium. Sleet and snow in El Paso, Texas for the Sun Bowl between Miami and Washington State. Cougars on the board first. Jamal Morrow on the receiving end of a Luke Falk throw turns the short crossing route into a 31-yard score, 7-0 Washington State. Hurricanes facing 4th and goal from the 5. Brad Kaya hits Stacy Coley just across the goal line. Miami ties it up 7-all. First play of the second quarter. Kaya looking deep off the play action. Rashawn Scott has it go in and out of his hands, and Peyton Pueller makes the diving interception in the end zone for Washington State, and the Cougars would capitalize. A 30-yard field goal from Eric Powell. That gives the Cougars a 10-7 lead. And then just before halftime, Falk throwing deep hits Gabe Marks in the end zone, 25-yard score, and Washington State beats Miami in the Sun Bowl 20-14. Just ahead, more highlights from today's college football bowl action, including Kentucky's season-opening opponent next season, Southern Miss, playing Washington in the Heart of Dallas Bowl in Texas. The Kentucky Wildcats did not qualify for a bowl game this season, but their opponent for next year's season opener did. The Southern Miss Golden Eagles. Chris Peterson and his Washington Huskies taking on Southern Miss in the Heart of Dallas Bowl. First quarter, it's the Huskies on the board first. Miles Gaskin, not the first or second effort, but the third effort gets him across for the 1-yard score. 7-0 Washington. Golden Eagles, though, would strike quickly. Nick Mullins, the curl route pass to Michael Thomas, and Thomas turns it into a 56-yard scoring play. Southern Miss ties it at 7-7. Still in the first, and Gaskin gets his second touchdown of the game. Another 1-yard plunge, 14-7 Washington. Huskies still going on the ground in the second quarter. The give goes to Jaden Mickens. And look at the shiftiness of Mickens, 29 yards, and he finds Pater, 21-10. And the Huskies win the Heart of Dallas Bowl over the Southern Miss Golden Eagles, 44-31, the final score. Virginia Tech head coach Frank Beamer coaching the final game of his career. Hokies taking on the Tulsa Golden Hurricane in the Independence Bowl. Not a good start, though, for Beamer and Tech. D'Angelo Brewer gets tripped up at the line of scrimmage, but keeps his balance, pulls away for the 48-yard touchdown, 7-0 Tulsa. Hokies showing they can run the ball, too. Trayvon McMillan picks up some nice blocks, races 51 yards for the score. Virginia Tech ties the game at 7. How about another big play from Tech? Michael Brewer, the swing pass to Isaiah Ford, and more good blocking leads to another long touchdown. Game tied at 14 apiece, and we're just early in the first quarter. It's 38-21 Tech in the second. Greg Stroman fields the Tulsa punt at his own 37, weaves his way around the defenders, picks up some nice blocking. That equals a 63-yard touchdown for the Hokies, 44 points before halftime, and Frank Beamer wins his final game as Virginia Tech head coach. The Hokies beat Tulsa 55-52. The other bowl game, the final one of the day going on right now, the Foster Farms Bowl. At halftime, the UCLA Bruins and Nebraska Cornhuskers tied at 21 apiece. Well, still to come on the Appalachian Wireless Sports Overtime Saturday night. This week's Sports Overtime Rewind episode, and we check in with former Buckhorn Wildcat Matt Day as he begins to wind down his career at UVA-Wise. The UVA-Wise men's basketball program has struggled a little in its transition to full-time NCAA Division II membership, but one former 14th Region star is doing all he can to make the transition as smooth as possible. One of the better high school basketball players to come out of the 14th region, former Buckhorn Wildcat Matt Day, is nearing the end of his career as a UVA-Wise Cavalier.
Oh, man, I've loved it over here. I mean, I've had a great career so far, great coaches, great teammates every year I've been here. And, I mean, I hate that's coming to an end, but it's going to be bittersweet.
Day is currently enjoying the best season of his college career, leading the Cavaliers in scoring and rebounding at 20.5 points and 11.5 rebounds per game. He is also second on the team in blocked shots and third in assists per game. And he is putting up those numbers in front of his family and former coaches.
That means that's one reason I chose Wise, just being that close to home and knowing that they could come a lot more than I was there if I was far away. And having Coach Noble and my family be able to come, it means everything to me.
Going from Buckhorn to UVA-Wise has been an adjustment for Day. In high school, the Wildcats enjoyed quite a bit of success. 80 wins during his 4-year career, a 54th district championship, and a 14th region runner-up finish in 2012. The Cavaliers, on the other hand, have struggled the last few seasons, making the transition from NAIA to NCAA Division II, winning just 26 games during Day's 4 years with the program. But he has still managed to etch his name in the records book, recently scoring his 1,000th career point.
That just means all the hard work that I put in. I mean, the long days in the gym, the long nights, all these road trips, 7-8 hours. It just means so much to me, and I was confident in this uniform.
A one-time Kentucky Mr. Basketball finalist as a Wildcat, now carrying the Cavaliers. Matt Day doing his part in rebuilding the UVA-Wise basketball program. Now, the last time out on December 20th, Day led UVA-Wise to a 100-87 upset win over number 14 King University, scoring 28 points, grabbing 19 rebounds. Him and the Cavaliers will be next in action on January 4th on the road at Fairmont State. Well, more to come on the Appalachian Wireless Sports Overtime Saturday night. We will recap the year in sports and take you back to the 2004 15th Region Basketball Tournament in this week's Sports Overtime Rewind. Before moving the regional basketball tournament to the Eastern Kentucky Expo Center in 2006, the 15th region would rotate high schools, and the 2004 tournament was held at Prestonsburg High School and included one of the more memorable games maybe in the tournament's long history. The 2004 15th region basketball tournament is one that will be remembered for a long time. It had upsets.
Underneath to Chapin, lost it, gets it back to Jamerson, he puts it up and in, and he was fouled.
It had buzzer beaters. And it had one of the more memorable calls maybe in tournament history. East Ridge had only been in existence for 2 years, was 22-7 and riding a 4-game winning streak. Allen Central was 13-13 and had lost 5 of 8. But the Warriors and Rebels treated a packed Prestonsburg Fieldhouse to an instant classic in the first round. East Ridge was clinging to a 1-point lead late in the fourth quarter when Central senior Justin Hall buried a wide-open 3 to give the Rebels the lead.
Into Justin Hall, three-pointer on the way, right side, goal! He'll go left side, Justin Hall, three-pointer on the way, rattled out on him. Ball's loose, tipped away, Francis offensive rebound, gets it underneath the grip and put it up and in.
Allen Central now, Jamie, up 3.
However, the Warriors, like they did all tournament, had an answer.
14. They're going to take it right down, Jamie. Hand it to Deese. Deese, spin move into the lane, puts a jump shot up. Go! 7 seconds. 7 seconds. We got a whistle and a timeout.
Paul Deese hit a floater in the lane to give East Ridge a 1-point lead with just 7 seconds remaining. And taking the inbounds pass, it was senior Rossi Salmons for Allen Central, who took it straight to the rim.
Salmons in the third court, drives to the basket. They don't call foul. Oh, my goodness.
Dees, who just seconds earlier hit the go-ahead shot with 6.8 seconds to play, blocked Salmon's attempted layup as time expired. Many believed there was a foul by Dees. Some say at the least there should have been more time put on the clock. Nonetheless, it was East Ridge, in only its second season of basketball, who survived and advanced in the 15th region tournament. What a game that was my sophomore year of high school. East Ridge would go on to beat Sheldon Clark and Pike County Central to win its first and to date only 15th region championship in just the school's second year of existence. Coming up, we show our play of the week, and Jamie McCracken reviews the year in sports from 2015. Time now for our play of the week. How about our 2-for-1 from Kentucky senior forward Alex Poitras? The nice pick and roll with Tyler Eulis for the two-handed slam, and then the denial on Matt Stockman on the attempted dunk. Poitras finished the game with 14 points, 6 rebounds, 3 blocks in Kentucky's win over Louisville. Alex Poitras, our plays of the week. We appreciate you staying up and joining us, and we hope that you have had a Merry Christmas and will have a Happy New Year. We'll leave you tonight with a look back at some of the bigger sports stories of 2015, courtesy of our man Jamie McCracken. From a near-perfect season to a no-hitter to history being made on the track. We hope you enjoy it. Have a good night.
Coming to the finish, American Pharoah and Victor Espinoza have won the Kentucky Derby. No opening night in college basketball anywhere compares to opening night at Rupp Arena. College basketball's winningest program. No good, jammed in on the follow by Cauley Stein. Cauley Stein with a spectacular slam. The Kentucky Wildcats finish the regular season 31-0.
The national championship, Calipari has to get it done.
Say goodnight. Lyles, Kentucky leads.
Right side front court with 2, with 1. Eulis up, missed it, and the Wisconsin Badgers have made it to Monday night.
It's time for these young people to let us know what they're going to do. I think that maybe the easiest way is, if you've decided to put your name in the draft, why don't you stand up? Really? All right, there you go.
And American Pharoah and Victor Espinoza have won the Preakness over Taylor.
The 2015 Miss Kentucky Basketball.
Morris again, sits her feet, buries another.
2015 Mr. Kentucky Basketball, Cameron Justice.
Justice widens the lead. A 3 for Cameron Justice. And he got it! A no-hitter for Mike Fires.
Cash Daniel, the big lefty and UK commit, looking for the end zone, trying to get there. Cash is in! These Tigers do have 9 lives.
At Commerce, my 5 guys up front, they're the biggest, they're the meanest, they're the nastiest offensive linemen up down in this region. I guarantee you that.
The 37-year wait is over. American Pharoah is finally the one. American Pharoah has won the Triple Crown.
South Laurel senior shortstop and University of Tennessee signee Daniel Neal has been named 2015 Kentucky Mr. Baseball.
Coach Mack won one as a player, and now he won one as a coach. It means everything to this town, this community, this team.
I tell you, it feels great. I'm so happy for our kids and coaches and our community. You never go into a state championship game thinking anything like this.
American Pharoah comes into his final furlong, and he's got a 6-length lead as they come to the wire. A Triple Crown winner, a Breeders' Cup winner, a horse of a lifetime. American Pharoah has won the Breeders' Cup Classic over S&X and Honor Code in a final time of 2 minutes, .07 seconds. He went out